Go ahead and tell me what your truck is rated to tow. You know the number. You looked it up before you bought it. Maybe it was the reason you bought it. 10,000 pounds, 11,000, 12,500, whatever the sticker says. You matched it against your boat and trailer, did the math, saw you had margin to spare, and figured you were golden. I want you to sit with something uncomfortable for a second. That number on your door jamb was tested at 40 miles per hour on a highway in Arizona with a breeze blowing across every cooling surface on the truck. Your truck earned that rating while moving at highway speed, with the wind doing half the work. That is not what happens at the boat ramp. So why did your transmission hit 280 degrees towing a rig that weighed 30% less than the rating? I went down a rabbit hole on this that I genuinely did not expect. 3 days across. The hull. Truth Forums, F150 Forum, Ram Forum, Silverado Sierra Forum, EcoBoost Forum, reading actual owner posts from guys pulling center consoles and bay boats on Saturday mornings. And the same story kept showing up from different people in different states with different trucks. Towing well within the rated capacity, transmission overheating, limp mode at the ramp. Dealer cannot duplicate the issue. And then the part that makes your stomach drop. The warranty denial letter. The whole thing traces back to one standard. SAE J2807. Every truck manufacturer follows it to generate that tow rating you trusted, and on paper, it sounds brutal. They drive the truck fully loaded up an 11.4-mile grade on Arizona State Route 68, the famous Davis Dam climb, at 100 degrees Fahrenheit with the air conditioning on full blast. The truck has to maintain 40 miles per hour the entire way up. 40 miles per hour means massive ram air flowing across the radiator, the transmission oil cooler, and the engine oil cooler the entire time. Every fin, every cooling surface, every fan is getting hit by a wall of moving air that the engineers designed the system to rely on. Now picture the Punta Rasa boat ramp in Fort Myers on a July Saturday, or Sargent, Texas, or Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. You've been sitting in a line of trailers on asphalt that an infrared thermometer would read at 145 degrees. The truck has been idling for 45 minutes. Every fluid in the drivetrain is already heat-soaked before you even start the pull. There is zero airflow across the truck. You creep down a grade that is steeper than anything in the SAE test at 2 to 5 miles per hour with the torque converter. Slipping continuously because that is physically the only way the drivetrain can move 7,000 pounds at walking speed on wet concrete. That slip generates enormous heat with nowhere to go. I personally think this is the single biggest disconnect in the entire truck and towing conversation, and nobody in the industry has any incentive to talk about it. The SAE test validates highway towing. Boat ramp duty is the opposite of highway towing in every measurable way, and there is another detail that drives me crazy. The test assumes 300 pounds of people in the cab, a 150-pound driver, and a 150-pound passenger. The average American male weighs 197 pounds. Load a crew cab with your wife, 2 kids, a cooler, tackle boxes, rods, a change of clothes, and a bag of ice. And you have burned through 700 to 1,000 pounds of payload before the tongue weight even enters the equation. 3 transmissions dominate the half-ton towing market right now, and each one has a specific failure mode that gets dramatically worse under exactly these conditions. The Ford 10R80 is the one that keeps me up at night. The failure point is called the CDF clutch drum. A bushing gets forced out of position when heat and pressure exceed what the design tolerates, and when it goes, half the transmission loses fluid pressure almost instantly. Ford has issued over 15 technical service bulletins addressing this transmission since 2018. That is not a minor refinement cycle. That is a unit that shipped before it was ready and has been getting patched in the field for 8 years. NHTSA opened a full engineering analysis in January of 2026 covering 1.3 million F150 trucks, and a judge allowed the class action to continue just last February. Ford has already been hit with a $165 million civil penalty for dragging their feet on recalls. Not on this specific transmission recall, but across their entire recall process in 2025. A guy on F150 forum documented his 10-speed hitting 251 degrees on flat highway towing a 5,000-pound boat at 70 miles per hour. Flat road. Tow haul mode engaged. The torque converter had silently unlocked, and the truck just sat there generating heat he never asked for. His frustration was that tow haul mode should have prevented it. It did not. The GM8L90 has a different personality of failure. This one shudders. Owners describe it as driving over rumble strips at 40 to 50 miles per hour. GM traced the root cause to the original transmission fluid being hygroscopic, meaning it absorbed moisture from the air and changed friction characteristics inside the torque and converter clutch. And here's the part that should genuinely make you angry. Internal documents revealed during the class action showed GM's own engineers identified the fix, calculated it would cost $305 per truck, multiplied that by the affected fleet, landed on $592 million, and decided to fix it only in new production, starting March 2019. If you already owned one, you were on your own. A class covering 800,000 owners was certified before getting reversed on a narrow 9-7 vote on appeal in June of 2025. The Ram ZF8 HP75 is honestly the one I respect the most mechanically. It is a German-engineered unit from the same family that goes into BMWs and Bentleys. The problem is not the gearbox itself. It is a cooling decision Ram made to save fuel economy numbers. They installed a thermostatic valve that blocks transmission cooler flow until the fluid warms up, which saves roughly 1% at the pump. 1%. But when you are towing heavy in sustained heat, that valve becomes a bottleneck that traps dangerous temperatures inside the case. Ram forum is full of guys documenting 230, 240, 260-degree fluid temps while pulling boats because the factory cooling system was tuned for the EPA test, not for the boat ramp. That pattern, where the manufacturer optimizes for the test instead of for your actual life, runs through the entire marine industry too. I put together something called the Hull and Build Quality Rankings inside the Bilge files. Every major boat brand graded on 7 construction criteria from physical teardowns, because if your truck is going to take this kind of punishment every Saturday at the ramp, the boat on the trailer better be worth the pull. 6 guides, 157 pages, $19.99 one time. Scan the QR code or click on the link in the description and pinned comment. Now here is where the money gets ugly. A full transmission replacement on a 2022 through 2026 half-ton runs $4,500 to $10,000. Ford owners see the worst of it. Dealer-installed OEM replacements hit $8,700 to $10,000. Torque converter replacement alone runs $900 to $3,500 because you have to drop the entire transmission to reach it, 5 to 10 hours of labor. And when a torque converter fails, it often sends metal debris through every circuit, turning a $1,500 part into a full rebuild. But the trap that should make every boat owner physically uncomfortable is what happens when you call the dealer and they say no. A Ram 2500 owner posted on Ram forum that his transmission threw a code reading overused due to towing a load too heavy. Dealer quoted $15,000, then blacklisted the truck entirely. A second dealership refused to touch it. Modern trucks log thermal events, load conditions, fault codes. If your transmission overheated while towing, that data exists in the ECU, and the manufacturer can and will use it to classify the failure as abuse, even if the sticker said you had room. So what is the actual number you should trust? Every experienced towing professional and every RV design engineer I found during this research converges on the same answer. Take whatever is printed on the sticker and multiply it by 0.7 to 0.8. That is the 80% rule, and the guys towing through Arizona summers at 110 degrees say even that is generous. One veteran with 50 years of towing experience caps his loads at 70%. Bass Pro Shops' own boating center recommends a truck rated for 7,500 to 8,000 pounds to safely tow a 6,000-pound rig. That is 75 to 80% utilization, and that is from a company selling you the boat. Ford is the only manufacturer that publishes an altitude derating, 2% capacity loss per 1,000 feet above 1,000 feet of elevation. At a mountain lake at 5,000 feet, that is an 8 to 10% hit. The sticker never mentions. Every other manufacturer stays quiet despite the same physics applying to their engines. If you remember one thing from this video, make it this. Go buy an aftermarket transmission cooler, a B&M super cooler, a derail plate and fin, whatever fits your truck. $150 to $300 installed. Owners across every form and every make report temperature drops of 30 to 60 degrees after bolting one on. That single part, the one your truck should have shipped with from the factory but did not because the engineers optimized for the EPA test instead of for your life, is the difference between a transmission that survives a decade of boat ramp Saturdays and one that cost you $8,000 before the odometer hits 60,000 miles. And when you're shopping for your next truck, stop looking at the tow rating. Look at the payload rating. Look at whether the tow package includes a real auxiliary transmission cooler or just a hitch receiver and a badge, because that sticker on the door is telling you what the truck can do once, at highway speed, with two skinny guys in the cab and nothing in the bed. That is not your Saturday morning at the ramp. YouTube thinks you will like this video next, so tap it, and if you made it all the way to the end, hit subscribe.